Print screen.
Can you use bots in TradingView?
What do you mean? How so?
I don't know anything about bots. So
You can use your TradingView indicators, yes, for the bot. Oh, here we go. This is Bart Simpson here. Kind of looks like on BTC 5 minute, but
If you do it that way, you'll have to pay for the, I think, like the premium version of TradingView to link your TradingView bot. I mean, your TradingView script to the bot.
You get
I don't know if you have to.
It's the number of, basically what they call alerts is what triggers bots. So in the free version, you get one alert. So you can kind of link a bot to one coin.
Okay,
Or
so
if you had a bot, like a bunch of bots like that are getting ready to long, so you could have like 20 different coins in that bot, like looking for signals or taking entries. So you could have that one, like a BTC bull signal, start all those bots as well. So yeah, you could kind of practice with the free version of TradingView.
Okay, so if you look in general, you can see that this is the other option, right? I only have 3 limit orders, right? And it also covers me. It actually covers me for 4.4%, 4.5, sorry. And the required change is actually smaller because I think this one has a target profit of 0.4 or something, or 0.5. So the percent change required is really small. So this one, you barely have to move and you'll take profit. And this one, 0.1%, and this one is 0.29%. This one is 0.5% and to the take profit, right? To break even, sorry, to break even. It just in case you want to exit the trade. But these are...
You're on the wrong screen again.
I posted it in general. Sorry. Yeah, so if you look at the thing I posted in general, you can see the deviations. The safety orders, right? The first one, second one, third one. And the volume scale is massive, right? So the first entry is $10. Second entry is $60. Third entry is $361. And then the fourth entry is $2,000, right? So 2,174. So that's what I use for Mr. Sniper. But either way is fine, right? Whether you want to have a massive volume scale and very few safety orders, or if you want a bunch of small safety orders, right? Either or is okay. Let's see. Now let's go back to TradingView. Okay, so let's go to the 5-minute chart. Okay. Okay, so you can see here that bull gap, right? Even if you were looking at nothing else, just that bull gap, you knew that we were likely to go up there, right? To touch that target, and you know what the target area is. So I really like the bull gap, and I use that when it's in confluence with everything else, right? So
is it just called bull gap on TradingView?
It's called gap-o-matic v1.2.
Sweet.
Okay, and you can use confluence with the VWAP, right? I use the VWAP kind of to see how it's affecting the other time frames, the lower time frames, how it trickles down, right, on the other ones. Or if I notice that on the 5-minute there's a move up, but the VWAP is curling down on the 4-hour or whatnot, you know. Like this right here is not very helpful. This flat line, on the VWAP. Doesn't really tell you much. But on daily, you can see that it's currently down on the VWAP. So it's gone down, tested, gone back up, and it's coming back down again, likely to break down. So you would think, right? And then you can watch these other time frames are like always a step ahead, right? So you can watch how the VWAP ripples through each time frame, right? And see this one is having upward momentum. See if that one shifts to the 4 hour, right? If this starts curling up, which it has, and then see by the end of daily close, see if this one has begun to curl up, right? So you can kind of front run the VWAP by watching it scale through all the different time frames. But yeah, so basically the gist of this is just using confluence, right? You'd want to trade with confluence. So down here you have all these Bollinger Bands. You enter a trade, goes up, resistance goes down. Also you have the Bollinger Band as a resistance, so you could have shorted there as well. You can use these the linear regression as another confluence. You can use the stochastic, right? Stochastic's down here, right? It's touching a Bollinger Band and the linear regression, right? And it just dipped below support. Potentially is going to go back up, right? And you can go on the higher time frames and see where the bigger supports are at, the chunkier supports. But you can see right here, this dotted line that I had here is one of them, right? And you have another one down here. So you can see where these are. You can see that there's a resistance here. Another resistance that I had here, right? So, and you can look at these higher time frames and really gauge where we're going based off these. So it's not just as simple as just looking and, if you really want to make money, you have to do all these things. Look at all the time frames. Look at where it's touching, right? See if there's a confluence of support between time frames, right? See if this VWAP flipping down, if this ends up affecting the hourly, right? This is pointing down 15-minute, right? It's pointing down. Let's see if this 15-minute VWAP ends up rippling into the half hour, flips the half hour down, and if that half hour flips the hourly down, right? Front running these VWAPs. So, yep, that's the gist of how I trade, really, right? Using confluence between support, linear regression, and Bollinger Bands, right? And I also use the money flow as well, but just not the extreme. And it's hard to see here on these charts because BTC has really been, there's been a lot of sideways action, right? But let me go back.
Yeah, I hate this choppy shit, man.
So you can see here, bull gap, bear gap, bull gap. It has this target here, right? So you can see eventually we hit this target, right? We go back in here. So I really like this indicator. Have a bull gap with a target here. See, eventually we get a random wick up to hit the target up here, right? So that's one indicator that I really enjoy using. But yeah, that's basically it. And the most important thing, right, is developing a rule set, right? I will only enter when the 5-minute is below 20 or below 25. It is we're touching a support. We're in a support zone, a Bollinger Band zone, and a linear regression zone, right? Because this was likely a linear regression zone prior. So, and you could just draw these trend lines yourself, right? If all right, maybe not. Maybe that one's in the linear regression zone. But yeah, so you could just draw trend lines yourself and kind of do that if you don't want to do linear regression. So you see the basis of where it is. And then the next important thing that I want to go over, let me see. I'll post it in general for you guys. Actually, I'll see if I can
Quick question: what indicator are you using for the bull gap and bear gap?
It's called gap-o-matic version 1.2. That is on that indicator only works on BTC
Explain why.
because it uses CME futures for BTC. So technically, you could use it on Ethereum, but you'd have to go into the settings and input the ticker for Ethereum CME instead.
So it's bound by market open and close. That's why it gaps.
Okay.
Let me see. I have paper here that's likely good. Let me see. I think I sense it's a default. I went through our DMs. Let me see if it's here.
Matt, just quit passing notes to the back of the class, bro.
Okay. And does anyone have that image of those trades that I did? Yeah. The trades I was doing publicly for everyone. Does anyone have that saved? Anybody?
Boom, 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 boom.
There's that Excel spreadsheet, if anyone remembers. If not, I'll have to go dig it up. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. Maybe I sent it to Tay. Let me see. Yeah, I posted it in some servers, but those servers kind of went down already, I think. God damn it. Okay, I will search for it on my phone. You guys can talk about whatever if you want. While I'm looking.
I was going to ask you a question. What do you set a certain stop loss? You just do stop loss at entry every time, and not like at a previous swing position.
If I am on spot, it depends. If I'm doing low leverage or spot, and I'm just trying to average into a position because I know it's going to turn around, I won't set a stop loss, and I'll just have my average in plan like I showed you, and I'll just average into it. If I am on futures, it's usually stop loss and entry. Yeah. Like the way that I'm showing you how I trade, that's how I trade on futures. And it's stop loss and entry usually.
And that's mainly due to high leverage?
Even on low, I don't see a point in being a trade if my TA failed, right? Because then it's just like, you're just hoping that it goes back up with no real reason why it should. Right? So if your TA fails, you probably shouldn't be in a trade. That's just my perspective.
Yeah, but sometimes like the movement of the market, I mean, especially if you're doing like a low time frame, 5 minute, 15 minutes, sometimes you do have those wicks that go below your entry, stop you out, and then you don't ever like go back into that particular trade because you think, okay, my TA screwed up, but then it reverses on you. But sometimes it doesn't hit the previous swing area. Like if we're doing a long, it doesn't hit that previous swing low wick, whatever that lowest wick was. Again, I wouldn't do something that's like 10% or 15% away from my entry, but if it's pretty close to my entry,
I always do like a couple bucks, like $1 or $2 or something. I always do something like that, like a couple bucks. But and I only set it in. Okay, so I'll enter, and I'll wait. Like I said, I wait a couple of seconds for it to finish that move that it was trying to make down, right? And then when it wicks back up, that's when I set my stop loss at my entry point. So even if it goes down, let's say I enter a 10x and it goes down 2% more really quickly within a couple of seconds, doesn't really matter as long as I'm in profit. And then at that point, like afterward, after a couple seconds, then after a couple of seconds, I'll throw in my stop loss, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. Does anyone remember when I was doing that or no?
I think it was like
A
a
date?
month and a half ago. Shit. I don't know the exact date, but a little over a month and a half.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
The trades I was doing live, I made a little Excel spreadsheet so people could learn how to document their trades and how to
I wasn't there.
improve
It was
their
like
strategies.
right before Jolt went MIA.
I'd like to see that though.
You did see it.
No.
It had to have been like late January, early February.
Mm,
Oh. I thought you said a day and a half ago.
no, I found it. Okay. Discord. General post. Okay. So let me go into general Discord. Okay, so you guys can see my Discord, correct?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so you can see here, these are the entries, right? So you'd write down 1.
We can hear
Entry.
your Discord as well.
Are you echoing?
You gotta turn down
it's-
his stream.
You
You're
have
doing a
to,
loop back.
yeah, you have to turn down my volume. I can't do it. Or can I? Can I?
No, they have to turn down their stream volume
Yeah, they have to turn down the stream volume. Yeah.
on this channel.
So when you go to the stream, I think go to settings and turn on the volume. But you can see here, win 5%. This was just public trades I was doing for people just off that. It had to be touching a linear regression line. It had to be touching a support, and it had to be touching a Bollinger Band. It had to be touching 2 out of the 3. Sorry, 2 out of the 3 things I just said. If it touched 2 out of 3 things, I was forced into a trade, right? And I forced myself at a 10% stop loss, right? So I can kind of, it was all done, big brain, so I can teach you guys stuff. So we had the take profit was between 5 and 10%. It was up to me. So this was 5%, and I did 11 trades. So I did all these live. 5 plus 5 minus 10 plus 5 plus 5 minus 10 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 minus 10 minus 10 plus 9. So I was still negative 1% after 11 trades, right? And what I was looking for while doing these trades, right, was number 1, if I removed, because before I said I would not take profit if it was less than 5%, right? So if I removed that condition and allowed myself to take profit early, right, on times where I knew that my TA was invalidated, on these 2 trades here, this 10% loss could have instead been a 2% gain, right? Because I went into 2%, it made the run up, and then it was having trouble, right? And I was like, oh, this trade's gonna go against me, right? But I still let it go down, because normally people they would have this take profit and they wouldn't take that 2%. They'd wait for that take profit. So I just let it run against me, and then that was minus 10%. Same here, right? So that's one thing to watch out for. Another thing to watch out for when you're doing these, writing down your trades, right, is at what point did it reverse before getting stopped out? So I was thinking this whole time, on any of these trades that I'm in, if I had my stop loss at 5% instead of 10, how many of these winning trades would turn into losing ones, right? And only one of them did, right? And that was XLS stopped out if stop loss is changed to 5%. So this one win, if I changed it to 5, right? 5% stop loss instead of 10, this one win would have been a loss, right? But, so you'd have minus 5%, but then all these minus 10s would turn in, for one extra loss, you would turn all these minus 10s into minus 5s, right? So this would be 10, 10. So that would be 20 total. 20% profitability you would gain by turning on a 5% stop loss, right? 20% minus this one extra loss, that's 5, so 15% extra, right?
How much are you targeting again?
Target 5 to 10% with the ability to exit the trade if my TA is invalidated.
Okay.
Yeah, but right here, but let's say if the only thing I change about this is my stop loss, I would go from being negative 1% to being positive 14%. Right? With just that one tweak. And then there's this other hashtag here, right? This is another symbol that I was watching out for. If it turns against me after being in profit, exit the trade at 5% loss. This is if you don't want to do a stop loss. It's just these minus 10s here. Even if you wanted to keep everything else the same, these ones where you were at one point in 2% profit, if it goes against you after being 2% profit, you would take a 5% loss. These two right here would have turned into these two would have turned into 5% losses instead of 10. So you would have been technically profitable. It would have been 9%. Yeah. So even if you just change one of these, so if you just change these two, just changing those two to 5% stop loss at a loss, you would be at a 9% profit, right? So just showing you different ways you can adjust your strategy and things to look out for when you are writing these things down so that you can do what you're doing here. So you could turn a minus 1% into a positive 9% or a positive 14% or a positive. If you make all the tweaks, it would go up to positive 28%. Right? So you could turn negative 1% to positive 28 just with adjusting stop loss or adjusting your rule for exiting, right? Letting you take profit early, or if you're in profit, if you're ever in profit and then by 2% and it goes down against you, don't wait for it to go all the way down to 10%. Just take your loss early, right? Taking your loss early is a good thing. So, yeah, this is something that everyone I think should do with your trades. Write down your entry if it's a win or loss, and keep these factors in mind when you're looking at it. This win right here, would it have been a win if my stop loss was 5%, right? So you can write down next to it, what percentage it went against you, right? Before it turned around, right? So that you can have data to work with, because this putting random stop losses and random take profits doesn't work, right? It just doesn't. You have to have data to make informed decisions on. And this would go into what you said, right? So this would be that. Except for me, not to brag or anything, but I do fucking get really good entries. So
This guy. You do market entries too, don't you?
yeah, market. So I think someone in here was referencing it too. They were kind of copying what I was doing. Like when you see that price just go crazy, and you know there's about to be a reversal, you enter, and then you can get like the very, very top because there's such low liquidity that they'll like place you there. You know, such low liquidity on the other side because it's pumping so hard, and you throw in a short. It's pumping hard as hell, and you throw in a short. The price is skyrocketing. You'll get like close to the top. So,
yeah, I've got lucky a few times. What time frame is this on? that you charted this?
That these trades were all done on the 5-minute on BTC on 10x.
Nice.
It's really dope when you end up getting a price above where the at trading view chart went.
Yes, exactly.
Hell
Yes. Yeah, I get that shit all the fucking time. I love that shit. It on the KuCoin chart, I think it'll still show, but on the trading view for Binance, I'll get a price higher than where it went on Binance, which is nuts.
Looks a shit, dude.
Well, it's when you're looking for the entries, you can
What?
kind of look on the KuCoin futures and then kind of see where those wicks have been.
Yep. And I think this is important to do. Like, everyone should be writing down their trades, writing down how much percentage they won, how much percentage they lost. Make sure that you actually have rules to go in. Like, this one right here was simple. These rules right here for this was, it just needs to do 2 of the 3. It needs to touch a Bollinger Band, a support, or a linear regression. 2 out of those 3. And there was a caveat in there that if it touched the Bollinger Band once and it bounced off and it came back down to touch it again, that's not another trade. So after that, you take a break. Right? So if it goes up, touches the 5-minute Bollinger Band, bounces off it, the second time it touches that 5-minute Bollinger Band within like 2 candles, it likely won't bounce off it again. It'll likely slide down the candle. So that's the caveat to keep in mind. There are little rules like that, right? But you write those rules down so that you have them, you know, and you can look at them and you can make sure that you're following them, right? And that you're not just trading off impulse.
Yeah, 100%. And I think whatever strategy you do use, before you even implement it, back test it, I would say at least 25 times and get a win-loss ratio to see if that strategy you have is even profitable for you based on your stop loss, your exit, your take profit level. Because if you're just going in there thinking that, okay, I'm going to use B's, like the indicators that B has, he's to fine-tune this to know exactly when to get in and get out. But if you haven't really tested it yourself and you try to do it, maybe your TA is going to be completely wrong, or you're trading on a different time frame. It's going to completely screw you up.
Or not even that. There are trades even with these, like this one right here that I was doing for you guys was with a I was just entering any trade without looking for other reasons not to get into trades. But normally when I'm trading, I'm looking at like, oh, this trade doesn't look too good, right? The candles on the 1 minute don't look good on this one. This pattern looks like a double top, right? So you're looking at different confluences to not get into the trades. So if you have a rule, I think someone always said that here, use indicators as signals not to get into trades. I agree with that, but only in the case when you do have already a strategy. So if you have a strategy, use other indicators to push you away from bad trades, right? So that's what you should be doing. Whether it is an actual indicator or whether it's a pattern that you're reading on the chart, whether it's a different time frame, right? Looking, hey, I know this is saying that we're at the bottom of the 5-minute linear regression, but on the 4-hour, we're like at the very top. We're likely going to be coming down. Maybe I don't get in this trade.
I like it. Yeah, I think Suki said that coined that phrase. I'm trying to look for reasons not to get into a trade.
I think that was D-Block, actually. D-Block said it really early. Yeah,
I love it, dude. I have not charted. I've been doing this for almost as long as you, I think, and I have not once put a spreadsheet together, and I fucking live off of spreadsheets when I'm working daily. So I don't even know why I haven't even done something like this. So appreciate it.
Yeah, like it's like trading blind, really, right? So like, and like a lot of people will be frustrated with themselves as to why they're not profitable, but it's because it's not even their fault, right? Nobody is telling them these things, and they don't understand that you need data to work off of, right? You can't just put, oh, he said 5% is a good stop loss, right? That sort of thing. So you need data.
Yeah, and I heard like once you kind of have achieved like a certain level of trading, that you don't necessarily set a percentage on when you're going to take profit. You're just looking at the charts, and you just can instinctively know when to get out of a trade, whether that be up 100% or only up 2%. You know.
Yeah. People had said that prior, like who was it? Faceless was one of the people that said it. Who was the other one? Who was the guy that was going over a Wyckoff with us? IO. He was another one that said reading charts is like reading another language, and eventually it just becomes subconscious. You know, like you don't think about it. You just read the chart. Yeah. So for people that have been doing it for many years, so I'm sure it's a lot easier. Any questions before we move on? Anyone want to go over their strategy?
I'm not too confident in mine. I'm literally testing out like a couple of different strategies, and I think I have one that's profitable, but I'm not going to go over it just yet, man, because I want to make sure I want to really back test it, make sure it works.
Okay, sounds good. So maybe I can go over how some of these indicators work. Let me see.
Okay, I forgot I muted you.
What?
Well, when I'm watching the stream, it doesn't let me mute the stream.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, so and I've just been using the linear regression a lot. So just when we're in, looking for that for trade, so I've been setting some alerts on the 1 minute linear regression break, because it generally takes over 15-20 minutes for that to play out. And then then that kind of lets you know that when it's in the top of the linear regression for the 5 and 15 minute. So, even though intensity we're still in an uptrend, right, it's going to go from that top of that linear regression down, even to that middle line or bottom line, which generally is a 3-4% move. And then also playing the swing failure, kind of using that in conjunction with the swing failure patterns case idea, double tops. Generally what's on the linear regression, means that it's not, no longer moving up in that channel. So that means it's kind of flattening out. So that's why I set the 1 minute alert for some coins that I'm scalping. Because I said if I'm trying to sit there and scalp for 2 hours, I might get those alerts within half an hour or so. And that will just kind of give me an idea to look at those coins. But as I cycle through them, I can kind of look through that as well and kind of notice when it's about to set an alert. So I've been getting a lot better of, because generally when you set that alert and say it's a good entry, it doesn't get you the best entry. So generally around a double top or a crazy wake up and then a rejection will kind of generally trigger those 1 minute alerts. So, a double top or those major rejections, which is then kind of alerts me to a swing failure pattern. So yeah, and I use that multi Jolt's linear regression, and then there's the one by Lonesome the Wolf. You just type in linear regression. That one will do a historical linear chart, just more of a ghost outline, a single bar, but it'll just kind of let you know where the past linear regressions have broken as well. And so a lot of times, like, so if we're pointing down and you see it breaking like 4 or 5 times, it just, the whole idea, if you draw a bunch of lines, you can kind of make a circle. So it kind of more visually tells me or alerts me to that, hey, look, this coin's been dipping for, 2 or 3 weeks or a month, you know, on the 1 hour and 15 minutes, it's finally starting to curve around.
Not great.
So it doesn't give me the best entry, so that's why I'm, you know, kind of interested in it a bit more, right? So, hey, knowing this is a good setup, but within that setup, there could be a 4 or 5% price movement. So if I can, you know, use the RSI or, you know, your indicators or your strategy to help further lock down that 4%, you know, that 4 or 5% range, you know, then times 5x, you know, that's an extra 25% I could pull out per long-term scalp potentially.
Hmm. Okay, so quickly go over these. This is the Sarcastic Rsi. Each one of these is a different time frame. You can get these indicators in the developer section. So there is, for me, the colors are different. The white is the daily, 4 hours the dark blue, light blue is the 5 minute, 15 minute is this light color, the red is the hourly, and this other color is the half hour. I had to change it because I'm colorblind, but basically, you would want to see how these things are interacting, and the big ones to keep an eye on are the 4 hour, the daily, and the 5 minute, right? Then after that, you would have the hourly, and then the half hour. The half hour and the 15 minute I don't look at very much. But you'd want to see when this 4 hour hits the bottom, when it hits its tops, because it's likely to be a reversal in trend. You'd also like to see when the hourly does it and the daily. And you can push it as far as the weekly and check to see how the weekly is doing to know what the overall momentum is. So, yeah. That is stochastics. This is the Fu Manchu. This indicator has like 1,000 things for it, but I really only use it for this VWAP line. Yours will likely not look like this. You'll have to adjust the settings quite a bit, but if you want to just adjust this VWAP line, you can change it from a wave to line, and that makes it a lot easier for me. Let me go over Bollinger Bands. Okay, so Bollinger Band, as you can see on the daily, right? This is the daily Bollinger Band. It likes to use it as like a rubber band. So it will go out of the daily, come back in, make its way, bounce off the top. It's kind of like a ping pong ball, or maybe a pinball machine. Yeah. So it's at the top here. Likely it'll come down, right? It might poke a hole through this one all the way up, and then come back down. And you can see these bear gaps on the daily are pretty effective. Bear gap down, bear gap down, bear gap down. This one failed. Right, it hit its target, right? So see, it has that target there. This wick did go and touch it, but it wasn't a big move down, which is what you would have expected. See, bear gap. Here's the target. It touched it, but yeah, this is the other target, I believe. So, yep. Bull gap first. Bull gap. Goes up, hits its target. Bear gap, bull hits its target here. Bear gap. So you use these things at bear gap. It's pretty reliable. It's one of the more reliable indicators, right? They fail like anything else. Bull gap, bear gap. Like these things fail like anything else, but it is a really reliable indicator. So you'd use this on the daily. And since here on the daily you have a bear gap, you would expect it to go back down. It might continue to go up for a day, it might pop up through here, pop out of the Bollinger Band, but overall you'd expect it to go down. So maybe you'd want to start averaging into a short here. But keep in mind that this can happen here, right? But that's fine, because this is only 8%. So unless you're on high leverage, this isn't bad. So you would average into this. So that is how you would trade off the bear gap, right? What else is there? There is this SRV2, which puts automatic supports and resistances on every chart. So I can go here. I can go on total market cap. You can see there's automatic supports and resistances already pre-built into this. It uses 3 touches to get the support and resistance levels. So you have that. I also use a combination of Bollinger Band Awesome Alert and this 930. You guys won't have this because this is Jolt's Bees and Honey indicator. I just customized it. I changed it, the settings, right? But so you can see here, this is what I use for fake out candles, right? And we actually had one here. So it just means you'll get a retracement within 3 candles, right? So 1, 2, this is the 3rd candle, went down. This is also another fairly accurate one. So it's when you get this buy signal and this white thing over it, it means it's a fake out candle. So right here you can see 1, 2. Well, I guess you don't even have to count this one. You can already see the momentum brought it all the way down. So this is where you would enter a short, right? These are what I call fake out candles, false moves, false breakouts. And this is also extremely accurate. Okay, let me go. Oh, that's on total. Let me see, BTC. I actually should be checking total for fake out candles. Oh, interesting. Fake out candle here, you can see. A retracement after false breakout, right? Fake out candle. No. Sorry, I have to zoom in to see sometimes if it's fake out candle or not. Sometimes they hide in there, those no. Yeah, I'm trying to check them just in case, even though they are, some of those would be failures. I'm still trying to see if I see them. 4 hour. Nope. Here you have one. See? Fake out candle with the B with this white thing over it. So you can see here on the 4 hour, easily fake out candle, right? As soon as this one printed, you'd probably want to start averaging into a short. Boom, right after. So this is a really strong indicator. It's really accurate. We were actually trying to look for the perfect indicator for entering a long trade, right? This one right here is obviously a failure on this one on the 4 hour. So 1, 2, 3, and it kept just going sideways here. So eventually it ended up okay, but usually I would already consider this invalidated, right? I would exit on this. So this is 1, 2, 3. If this 4th candle didn't go down, I would have exited on this candle at the close of it, right? Yeah. Let me see here. Find any more? Fake out candle. Here's another failure. It's more accurate on certain time frames than others, but overall, it's.
How do I get that indicator?
Which one? This one. So this one right here, you could see. You have a false breakout here as well. See, fake out candle. So you know that there's likely going to be momentum downward. So all this indicator is Bollinger Band awesome alerts, right? Which I have turned off all of these, right? I just have on, I think, I have the baseline off. I have the EMAs off. The only thing I have, I think, is the buy signal or something, right? Which is it? This one, breakout up. I think this is the one. So breakout up, breakout down. But yeah, so it's this indicator with this one, which is Jolts 930, which is Jolts bees and honey. So if you want, you can see here what I have. It's buy signal. Can you guys see the settings or no?
Yeah, I can see the settings.
Okay, so you can see these settings here. You have to put in these settings. So length 9, close, offset 0, WMA 30, first moving average, change it to EMA. Just change it all into this. Flag color change to white. Sell flag color change to black. So just put all these settings into Jolts, bees, and honey, and you'll get this indicator, which I've named Jolts 930. So that is another strategy I use, right? To check up on. I just keep it off though. Sorry, meeting. So I can actually go over. Do I have it here, GME? No. I can go over the 930 trading strategy if you guys want as well. Okay, so here is I have these buy and sells here. So this is off just the 930 trading strategy, right? You'd probably want, if you're going to use it, you'd probably want to look more into it, more than what I'm gonna do here, but this is just the basics of it. This is good for parabolic moves, for when you're just searching for parabolic moves. So rule number 1, confirm you're in an uptrend, right? This looks like an uptrend. Alright. Rule number 2, confirm that the 9 EMA is above the 30 WMA. See, yellow above the blue. Confirm. Entry reason number 3, small green candle prints in between this top line and the bottom line, right? So little green candle, this is one potential entry. Here is another potential entry here in between. This is another potential entry. So any of those little entries, and then you see this curl away, that is extremely bullish. And then you would sell here. Whenever you see this point down, like this point down, or this one here, right, point down, this is where you sell on these candles. Even this one right here is probably where you should have sold. You see where the momentum shifts down. It makes a little pointy triangle. Imagine the top of a like a kindergartner's house, you know, that when they're drawing a house. When you see that shape forming, you exit, right? So you bought all the way down here, and you sold up here. Let's look for another one, which I already have labeled here, so it'll be easy. So here's another one. Shit. One sec. Here is another one. So little green candle. See? little green candle between the 9 and the 30, and then that's where you buy, and that little green candle. You see the little house forming, top of the house, the crest. I think it's called a crest. When this little crest is forming, you sell. So you sell within this price point here. Same here. You have this is a potential you could have bought at, right? But this is the real buy here, the one that's circled. So you would buy here at this little green candle between the 9 and the 30. And then you would sell up here at the crest, at this, right? So even worst case scenario, if you don't see this crest forming until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours later, even if you waited 7 hours, so you were 7 hours late on that crest forming, you still would have had a look buy down here, and then sell up here, right? So this is for trading parabolic moves. So it works really well on the hourly for stocks. I think half hour to 15 minute for crypto maybe. You'd really have to back test it on whatever you're currently using, and then if you see that it's working, you would enter the trades. So, and you can also use the strategy for shorting. I'm just not very proficient at it. But yep, let's see if we spot. So technically right here, look, little green candle prints between the two. Boom, right here, parabolic move. See, this was actually this looked horrible here, right? And then this happened, and then boom, fucking skyrocketed, right? So maybe test it out on GameStop, right? Just throw on a 9 and a 30, 9 EMA, 30 WMA, and watch for 1, confirmation of uptrend, and 2, that little green candle prints, and then buy at the little green candle. And then once if this were to cross instead, if this crosses, it's already you exit your trade. Does anyone else have any other questions? Anybody?
I like to teach. Good job, man.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any questions at all? I was thinking this would be more of a discussion.
Is that the 9 EMA ribbon?
No, just the 9 EMA.
You know, I have a suggestion on this whole course that you came up with here. Is maybe like we have either some people from YouTube or people in the Discord who have come across strategies that use, multiple indicators to confirm confluence, to like have one of us back test it, and then we could have a session, like a 30-minute session, saying, okay, this particular strategy would have netted you this much profit if you were on like a 5-minute time frame or whatever.
Yeah. I just don't like back testing stuff in terms of using that as to say this is good, I wouldn't mind us doing it live though, because that's where you really test it, when you do it live and you see, because a lot of these indicators trick you because they look good on the back test, but in reality when you're actually trading them, it's hard to trade.
If you could back test a strategy though, let's say during a bear market, right, and it was profitable, then chances are at least be profitable during a bull market.
Example, linear regression though, Finn. Linear regression looks profitable on the back test, but actually trading it might not be, because it moves, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to set a bot. That's why I was trying to, and I'm going to circle back on getting the angle of the linear regression, because if you're trading on that, if it breaks, and depending on what the angle of it is breaking can tell you. So yeah, that's why I say I use it as an overall momentum, but it's hard to, and that's why I said I don't always get the best entry, but you can still
Make
I'm
profit.
saying like forget the linear regression, right? Like think your RSI Bollinger Band. You know, if you have a strategy and you can back test that during the bear market, you know, during when it's dipping and doesn't get stopped out, or heck, let's say it's 50-50, right, during a bear market. I mean, good chances are that's going to be a pretty profitable bot during a bull market.
Yep. Agreed.
I think also with the concept of the linear regression is that's what like they have like the actual tool to use is you map it out at the previous pivot point, you know. So once you get a higher low or a higher high or something like that, then that's when you would actually put the linear regression on that pivot point and then start moving it out on that particular, you know, forward from that pivot point, you know, on. So you could, in theory, test it out. I mean, because I know jolts and like lazy bears, they're all dynamic, right? They move based on how many candles you have it set back. But the concept of linear regression is for placing it on pivot points.
Well, so I use jolts is default to 50. That one by lonesome, I think lonesome the wolf or bear or something like that is 100. But that one also gives you the past, so almost the history of that. It will give you like the last 50 linear regressions, but more of a ghost, just like a single line. But so you can kind of tell, like, hey, you know, this is, yeah, right, we've been on an uptrend, it's slowly starting to shift, now it's starting to go sideways, right? At that point, you know, potentially it'd be a good time to set a short, but then maybe your stop loss at the top of the linear regression.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, Smoky Smoke Kush. Hey, I was wondering if you know the prices are stabilizing, going to crash again, or surge in the following couple of days or weeks. Do you think the market will drop in the next couple of days? I think averaging into a short over the next couple of days to, you know, maybe next 5 days, averaging in low leverage on a short and actually write down your entries so that you can average in effectively is probably the smartest play right now. A bear gap is just printed, right, on the daily. Usually those are pretty effective. Maybe have like a 20% gap to where you're averaging in. I don't know if you guys remember the bot that I just showed you. Have the averages in like that. And yeah, that's it. So for the bots. Mr. Risky Scaler. Okay, so settings. Change
I
windows.
forget, maybe once you're done with this, stop the stream and restart it. And then that way you can kind of highlight or pin that video for other people to come back and watch later.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Cool.
That's a good idea, actually.
I'm working right.
Okay, so the YouTube can't see this, but the people in Discord can. Sorry, YouTube. Oh no, my mouse just went invisible. What do I do? Shit. This always happens.
Like,
I don't know why it happens. Mouse settings, click.
do you not see your?
What?
He called you a Nazi.
Hell yeah! Sorry, I was trying to talk fast because I have music in the background. But you can't see your mouse. I'm looking at it right now. You're moving around the screen.
I can't. No, it's not showing on my screen.
It's right here. I'm looking at your screen.
No, I know, but I can't see it.
I see it. All right, you're. What?
Control Alt Delete and maybe get out of it.
There you go. I fixed it. Okay. There you go. Okay, I can see it again.
Now it's turning all different colors.
Okay. So cancel. Okay. So here's the bot. Right. This is just something I kind of want to go over. So let's say you want max safety order price deviation. This is how far your safety orders will protect you, right? We have a, let's see. Let's say you wanted to protect you for 20%. Let's do 20 safety order, or actually 10 safety orders, and get it to protect you over 20%. Let's change this one. Okay, so this is your deviation from original price. So let's change this so that it buys at every 1%, right? 10 safety trades. Well, you can make it so that the first one will buy at 1%, and the second one will buy at 2%. Then the next one will buy at 4%. The next one will buy at 8% away, right? So you can have a safety order scale of 2, right? Or you can have a safety order scale of 1.25, let's say, right? They'll protect you 33%, right? So let's say you have your safety order scale. Let's say you want to work with see what happens to 2. 2 is, let's say you want to do 1.8. How much is that? $5,000. Okay, so you want to do it with $5,000. Be protected up to 33%. Max safety trade count of this. Let's see. Take profit. You want to take profit at 1%. So this will average you in for 33%, right? 10 average in, SEP scale of 1.25. Now, if you look at the table, right, this is important, the table, you can see how much you're protected, really, right? So you have, these are your, how the entries, right? You have an entry at 1%, entry at 2, entry at 4, entry at 6, entry at 8, entry at 11, 15, 19, 25% away from your original price, right? And this is your average price. And this is the required change for you to be in profit, right? So by the end of this 33%, you would need a 10% move, 11% basically, to be back in profit, right? And personally, I don't like this, right? I don't like this. I don't like how far it is. So what you can do is you can lower these to 4. Change this to, let's see, 0.8. Okay, this will give you roughly the same one, right? 2%, 2, max safety trade 4, and now let's get, you have $5,000. So let's change this to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Safety volume order scale of 7. So let's go back to your table and see how far you. Now look at this. Right, still protects you 30%, but by the time you're at that 30% in the red, you only need 3% to get in profit instead of 10. right? So all this is doing is just scaling you heavy on the bottom end, right? It's changing your scale so that most of your money goes in at the end. And this is what I meant earlier by sacrificing your trades for profitability, safety for profitability, right? You're sacrificing potential profitability here for safety, where you only need 3% instead of 10. It can go 30% against you, and you'll still be 3% away from the actual price, which is kind of crazy, right? So imagine if you had a strategy where you could buy now, BTC will dip 30%, and you would be only needed to go up another 3% for you to be in profit, right? That is crazy, right? So you have to figure out what percentage deviation is your sweet spot for which time for which time frame you're trading on. Figure out which deviation percentage is good for you. If you're on the 5-minute deviation, 5-minute chart, I doubt you need 30% protection, right? So you'd probably need maybe 2%, maybe 4%, right? If you're on the weekly, yeah, maybe you need 30%, right? If you're making a weekly trade. So all this right here, using this little thing here to make this table for you is extremely helpful for developing your strategy and figuring out how much you need to buy, because it'll do it all for you. It'll have the table set up for you. Anybody have any questions about this? Hello?
No questions for me.
Anybody?
I got here a little late because I was on YouTube, and I didn't realize that it wasn't streaming on YouTube.
No, I was only streaming on in the Discord. Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I would ask you one thing. Not
What?
about
Oh, sorry.
that in general. Will this?
Go ahead. You're lagging, GG. Sorry. GG.
Sorry, I had to get out of your thing because it was. Whenever I go, that's why I wanted to watch on YouTube, because whenever I go into anybody's stream on here, it lags really bad and messes up your volume, or messes your sound up, so I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, what were you trying to say?
Oh, just somebody in general was asking if this was going to be saved, and then something about timestamps.
I can save it. The only issue is that it has my like everything that I'm going over is going over on what's it called? Everything I'm going over on the stream, on the Discord stream. So it's not on YouTube. So I could timestamp it though. But yeah, I could just post the video.
So
separate.
basically, they'll be able to hear, but they won't be able to see what you're indicating. So at least the volume, at least the verbal part will be there.
Yeah. So you guys won't have. They'll see everything that I'm doing on TradingView. They won't see the stuff that I'm doing on the Discord, right? So I could make a video in the future when I get Finn has been kind enough to help work with Jack and help me get another PC, small one to make small videos. I could do that, yeah.
Do you have OBS?
I could remake it. No, I have Streamlabs OBS.
Could you make one if you're off a Discord?
Ma, sorry.
Because you make one like off of Discord without.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. When I get the computer from Jack, I would be making those short videos on that computer, and I would be able to edit it so I can just remove any information that I have, personal information.
I like it.
Yep.
You should start making like 60-second shorts.
What's put on TikTok?
No, to put on YouTube.
Oh,
Oh.
60
YouTube has,
seconds.
they're trying to copy whatever TikTok, so you could put them on both. But yeah, like there's a shorts now. I think they call them on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, and I see some trading gurus. They'll put like 60-second shorts.
Like a quick teaser, and that way they can kind of view your stream to view, or the channel to view more info. Yeah, like try and do a quick 60-second breakdown of the Bollinger Band.
Just gonna sound all bassy.
You can potentially make like 7 videos like that and just delete them and repost them once or twice a week.
What?
Did you read general?
Stream will be saved. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read it. Yeah.
Okay. Are you you're saving them?
No. I could end the timestamp now and then have people watch it later, but it won't have the stuff from Discord. I'll have to redo the whole thing, basically. I thought it was going to be more of a discussion. That's why I did it this way, but
I get it.
you know.
I mean, he did show a lot of stuff on TradingView in his charts. He just also showed some stuff with 3 commas. But I've been listening, and it kind of gives you an explanation before you see it anyway. So it's good to have hear about it first, and then have someone take a look at it themselves. It will kind of make some things make a little bit more sense.
Hey B, do you ever use the divergences on the wave trend on that?
No.
Fu Manchu?
No. I already said this. Those shits don't work. The only times they work is when you're supposed to get one and it doesn't print, and they stack. That's the only time it works. Because it prints after when the candle's already up. I can't trade that shit.
Yeah. So what I've done, I've pretty much like recoded it, or not recoded it. Basically, I've deleted a bunch of shit out of it. So I just have the VWAP, and then I have just the wave. But I've turned the wave into a line, almost like a MACD oscillator, when it crosses the 0 line and whatnot. So you see, like, if it's, if a movement is exhausted or not. Those are the only 2 things I have now on that Fu Manchu.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It works so much better, dude. Like, it's so much easier to read if you just have the VWAP and the wave as a line. And I make the
divergences don't work.
I have the VWAP as a histogram. So you see it when it's it's about to drop. I think I have like it as the thickest line, and then I just use like the labels to see like where it's actually at on the scale to the right.
Yeah, so those MACD are not useful to you on trading. Like, it looks good on the back test, but it only shows the little thing when it's already pumping. So you can't get in to grab that divergence because it's already up, right? It's usually a strong move up. It would be nice if you can front run one, right? If there was one indicator that showed you, a unconfirmed one, because it's only confirmed after it pumps.
Right.
But it is good. Go ahead.
Like the wave that you have there. I'm sorry. The wave that you have there. Those last 2 humps. You see, like the wave the trend is getting, is losing momentum. We're getting higher highs, but lower lows, lower highs on that blue oscillation wave. And I'm thinking that's a good potential for a reversal.
Yeah.
like you said, it doesn't fucking print it. Like it doesn't print the divergence line.
Yeah, it doesn't. Only when it actually happens. And sometimes it'll print and you'll get nothing on the chart. Like it'll be one and you won't get a big green candle. So I use that like so that when they stack, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, there might be a move coming sometime in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I remember it used to be big on like the gold circles and shit and whatnot, but I took off. I literally just have the wave as a line and then the VWAP as a histogram, and that's it. When I get back to the crib, I'll post it in development, the kind of reconstructed script I got.
Okay. So I know I said 4 to 10, but it's been 4 to 6, and I'm kind of tired out. I wouldn't mind going over this again though later. So I'm gonna end the stream on YouTube so that people can reference this in the future. End stream. Okay. The stream will be back up in like 10 minutes. So anybody listening, please just hop back on in like 5-10 minutes even. And if the people in here could please leave the Twitch and